What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We back with some new Metallica. This time we're checking out Crown of Barbed Wire. Let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up. Powerful start. This art style is fire, man. This is the type of art style that you see in newspapers, right? Where the artists there, as they start drawing, you know, the representation of what's going on in the court, the things that remain in focus as far as what the artist is drawing remains in focus, and everything else is kind of just a placeholder. This dude back here looked like a skeleton. I didn't know T1000 was back there. Look, he kind of got the skeleton. I don't know. I'm tripping. Interesting art style. Oh, slow burn. Okay. Okay, this whole, crown of barbed wire, right? So I immediately, when you hear crown of barbed wire, the first thing that comes up to your head is, Jesus Christ, right? Kind of like the crown of barbed wire. And they put it on his head because he declared himself as king. So they said, okay, well, since you're such a king and everything, well, here's your crown, right? It was a crown that caused a lot of pain, right? And they donned it on him because it's what he, because that's what he was telling them, and that's what he believed that he was, right? So essentially, it's almost saying that the crown of barbed wire is I wouldn't necessarily say a burden. It's just something that you are. And no matter how much pain it causes you, it's just what you're going to do, right? There's no escaping it. As we saw the guy getting out, and I come to this conclusion because the guys got out of jail. It looks like he got acquitted or something. He got released, and then what'd he do? He went back and did, I'm guessing, the same thing that landed him there in the beginning, right? So even though the judge was like, okay, I see that you are rehabilitated, you may be able to release, he actually was not rehabilitated because deep down in his core, this is just who he is, right? And if people believe it, just like they did Jesus Christ, they put a crown of barbed wire on your head. That's where I'm at right now. We might have to go look at the description and see what James said about this.
This crown of barbed wire, so tight, this crown.
Oh, and they put Vin Diesel in here. That's crazy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's another saying that you often hear in today. And kings, right? How heavy is the head that wears the crown because of all the responsibility and burdens. It's a heavy burden to kind of carry on your shoulder and everything, but you can't shy away from it, right? You're either going to handle it or it's going to bury you. So. like that. It crushes down what is real, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm faced with, let's say that I'm a king and I'm faced with two really, really impossible decisions. And some of those decisions require that I have an ounce of humanity in me, right? Or you would think that I would make the question that might side on the more humanity side or a more morale side, but there's a bunch of factors got to play into. Well, now all of a sudden, you know, these real lives and stuff that I'm now responsible with because I wear the crown, I now have to treat like it's just another statistic or another number on the page in order for me to make a better informed decision, right? Because whoever lives or whatever situation is going to ruin somebody's life, right? Somebody's going to get the short end of the stick of whatever, you know, in my made up theory of me being king, somebody's going to get the short end stick of whatever decision that I'm making right now. You have to make it. That's the whole point of wearing a crown. But I like to think of that when it says it crushes down what is real, because now you can't afford to look at that from more of a realistic not realistic standpoint, but you can't afford to let those emotions kind of come in and kind of make that decision for you. I'm just talking, but that's just what I thought.
What is real? Deep crimson blots the skies. This rusty
Hatred.
bleed as I rust on this throne. Burst me with torment and all the rust that I own. So tired, this crown of barbed wire. So tired.
Does he become him?
This crown of barbed wire. So tight, this crown.
Oh, okay. Oh, he got the shiv. Oh, like vengeance. All he sees is red. Oh, that's them. Okay. Okay, I'm sitting here looking at, oh, my bad. I accidentally paused it during a, my bad. I accidentally paused it during a solo. Didn't mean to do that. I'm just getting so infuriated with this story. My bad, guys. Let's go ahead and start it from the beginning. How dare I disrespect Metallica like that? What kind of movie is that?
This rusty
Okay. So, I almost kind of can look at it from both sides. Like both of them could possibly be kings in their own right respect, right? That's kind of like crowning this barbed wire. You see somebody you know who's responsible for the death of your entire family. You might feel some guilt or some responsibility to go out there and do what's right. Right. And in some cases that can kind of feel like a burden, right? Especially if you consider, especially if you're like the head of your household, right? You feel like an obligation, like you need to go and do this, right? And then the other way, I can kind of look at this guy right here, because he also got the crown on. He's almost kind of like a mad king on some Game of Thrones type stuff, right? And he made a decision. And he tried, and you know, just like if somebody, like think of Emperor's New Groove, right? When Cusco decided to destroy that guy's house and he wanted to get some answers and everything, he couldn't really do much because he couldn't get past the guards. I mean, in that movie he did, but you guys get the gist, right? He came for revenge and everything. He's the king. He was surrounded by his loyal subjects, and he can't do anything about it. He's like a mad king. Okay.
This rusted empire I own. Bleed as I rust on this throne. Bears me with torment and all the rust that I own. So tight, this crown of barbed wire. So tight, this crown of barbed wire. So tight, this crown.
Then I got Spinal from Killer Instinct. Hey, yo. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I didn't know they got Spinal up on here, man. Then man, I got the King of Skull Servants from Yu-Gi-Oh! All right. So if I was to kind of think about how that ending summarized, and appreciate those who stay around for the commentary, makes me feel like I'm not really here talking to myself. If I was to think about that ending, you know, it's almost like, you know, it's like the symbol of death, right? Let's say that you do have to make a decision that results in the deaths of a whole lot of people. Well, then you might be haunted by those, or you might feel retribution, or you might feel that sense of revenge that's coming your way because of the deaths, because of the many lives that you've taken. And no matter how much you thought you was in the right when you did it, right? Because I know when it comes to like people who have got like mental issues or something like that, like not like, I'm talking about like serial killer, like mental issues in their head, they think they doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It makes sense in their head and everything. No matter how good you think you're in it right, there's always somebody that's going to want to come back and take revenge, and eventually you're going to have to pay your dues. And I think that's what happened right there. He paid his dues. Him, the king, and all of them. Now, I'm pretty sure this has some type of relation to James and the rest of the band, but it was fun trying to decipher it. I could easily just go to like genius.com or something like that and look up what it was about, but that takes the fun out of it. You guys let me know what y'all thought about this down in the comments. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.